This is Metropolitan TV. You're watching us live from the studios here at Ekuya Boahima at North Ridge. But we're crossing over to the Independence Square, the National Independence Square, where there's a program ongoing that concerns the unveiling of the new technology-powered trucks. New technology-powered trucks. These trucks are procured by Zoom Lion, and the program already has started. It is actually Zoom Lion that is going to commission this program. We're expecting that some dignitaries will come and grace the occasion. We're expecting His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the country, who has already reports reaching us indicate that he has arrived, at the Independence Square. We also expect Apostle Alexander Nana Yao Kumi Labi, who is the General Secretary of the Church of Pentecost, the church where Dr. Joseph Siao Ejepong actually worships. In your shot is the occasion that has already taken off, prayers being said there. So we're crossing over to the Independence Square where the occasion has already started. Let's hear what's going on there.
Pray that your presence will continue to be our nation. Guide us, lead us, and guide us. In the mighty name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, have we prayed with thanksgiving. Amen.
Please be seated. And many thanks to you, the General Secretary of the Church of Pentecost, the Apostle Alexander Nana Yao Kumi Labi. You're here together with the International Missions Director of the Church of Pentecost and an Executive Council member, the Apostle Emmanuel J.C. Addo, together with the entire team of the Executive Committee. And with the blessing of God Almighty, let me say good morning and welcome to you, the President of the Republic, Ministers of State and Honorable Members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, our esteemed traditional and religious leaders, service commanders, directors and officials of ministries, departments and agencies, the board management and staff of Zoom Lion and the Jospong Group of Companies, captains of industry, executives of groups and associations herein gathered, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this hallowed ground, the Independence Square, Accra, where this morning the government of Ghana, together with the Zoom Lion, Ghana's leading waste management company, will officially unveil and commission into the service of this group of companies for the use of Ghana state-of-the-art trucks for waste management. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how we provide and augment government's already existing infrastructure to provide adequate equipment for effective waste collection in Ghana, a public-private sector partnership for national development. I am, by the grace of God, Jerry Edema-Jololo, and I welcome you ever so warmly. This afternoon, we take pride in welcoming in our midst a firm believer in making Ghana the cleanest and the healthiest country in Africa. Would you please make welcome the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Welcome you warmly. In his company is the Minister of Sanitation and Water Resources, the Honorable Cecilia Abna Dapa. The Minister of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, the Honorable Dan Boche. The Greater Accra Regional Minister, the Honorable Henry Quartey. The Minister of Interior, the Honorable Ambrose Derry. A member of the Council of State and former Mayor of Accra, the Honorable Stanley Adre Blankson. And last but certainly not the least, ladies and gentlemen, our very own, a true patriot, a son of the soil, the Executive Chairman of the Jospong Group of Companies, Dr. Joseph Siao Ejepong. It's a tall list of acknowledgements of the days. Allow me to spread them and do them intermittently in the course of this event. Mr. President, Honorable Ministers of State, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, joining us this morning, we're pleased to have the Zambian High Commissioner to Ghana, His Excellency Maspenda Richard Mzwanza. Thank you very much. Let's make welcome also the Zambian High Commissioner to Ghana, Her Excellency Madam Helena Zulu Mosongo. Thank you. I'm pleased this morning to acknowledge before you, Mr. President, a retinue of chiefs and queen mothers drawn from various traditional councils here to add their weight. From the Ghana Traditional Council, let's make welcome the leader, Ni Aikain III and Ni Ahene Nunu III. We welcome you. From the Osu Traditional Council, the leader, Ni Kwabna Boni V. The Ghana Adangbe Wulome Association, led by Yumo Blafo III. We make welcome the Greater Accra Queen Mothers Association, led by Na Adole Ablade I. The Asre Joshi Division, led by Ni Pacha Kole. And the Greater Accra Market Leaders Association, led by Madam Mercy Ni Jan. We welcome you all. This morning, Mr. President, a look through the program reveals four very short remarks culminating your keynote address. Thereafter, I shall invite one of the 50 young ladies who have been trained to man these vehicles to walk you through the specifications of these trucks. And Mr. President, finally, she will invite you for a tour and a practical demonstration of it. That will be the end of proceedings for today. It's my pleasure to invite, to set the tone for today and to welcome us warmly, the Greater Accra Regional Minister. Please make welcome the Honorable Henry Korte.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo-Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Honorable Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Honorable Cecilia Abnadapa, the Honorable Minister for Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, Honorable Dan Kweku-Botwe, Honorable Minister of the Interior, Honorable Ambrose Derry, Chairman and members of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Environment, Sanitation and Water Resources, Ministers of State here present, members of Parliament here present, Honorable Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executives, Nime, Name, the Executive Chairman and Board of Directors, Jospon Group of Companies, Mr. Joseph Sianwe Japan, friends from the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. I wish to warmly welcome you all to this morning's brief event of the unveiling of additional modern trucks to support the Clean Ghana agenda, as declared by His Excellency, the President. It is my singular honor to extend a healthy welcome to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo-Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to this ceremony. I also wish to acknowledge the presence, though I've done that already, of the Local Government and Decentralization and Rural Development, Honorable Dan Botwe, Minister of Sanitation and Water Resources, Honorable Cecilia Abnadapa, as well as Ministers of States here present, and I say you're all welcome. Let me also recognize the presence of Honorable Members of Parliament and all chiefs to this beautiful program. This ceremony is important to me, since the arrival of these trucks will help solve part of our logistical needs in the area of sanitation, more especially in the Greater Accra region under the Let's Make Accra Work agenda. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, since His Excellency the President assigned me to represent him in Greater Accra region, after assuming office as the regional minister, I initiated the Let's Make Accra Work project to basically give impetus to the President's vision to make Accra the cleanest city and ensure that as leaders and citizens, we all play our roles to make that vision a reality. The objective of sanitation thrusts of this project is to maintain a high level of cleanliness within the Greater Accra metropolitan area to prevent the outbreak of infectious diseases, protect public health, and the environment. The specific objectives are to promote clean and green environment within the Greater Accra region, enhance effective public cleansing and waste collection at markets, lorry parks, beaches, and green open spaces, promote effective public education and law enforcement on cleanliness. For the guaranteed success and sustainability of these projects, we are employing a collective approach by involving all stakeholders to achieve this vision, hence the tagline, I need you, you need me. You would agree with me that the government has made a lot of gains and successes in the area of sanitation, which has impacted on the health and general well-being of the populace. Notwithstanding, it is quite disheartening to see that these efforts to keep the city clean do not even yield much results because of unavailability of trucks and logistics. Therefore, the unveiling of these initial 100 trucks out of a 500 will serve as a great boost to our campaign and other similar initiatives across the country. Your Excellency, Honorable Ministers, Nime, Name, ladies and gentlemen, today's program confirms the need for government to continue to engage with the private sector to develop sustainable solutions to national problems. We will continue to partner Zoomlion to provide quality service to our communities, especially within the Greater Accra region. I must, however, quickly add that the citizenry must also play their roles and avoid littering and dumping of refuse indiscriminately. Mr. President, if you permit me, with the collaboration of the Regional Coordinating Council in the Greater Accra, very soon the assemblies will be supported and pass the bylaw which we'll call Operation Clean Your Frontage. Everybody will be responsible for their frontage. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is important to note that all these initiatives and the logistical boosts will not yield the desired results if we do not put in extra efforts to change people's attitudes towards the environment. It is therefore important to engage in constant education, enforcement of our bylaws, and also having all hands on deck. And I must say, Accra indeed will work. Every one of us has a role to play in achieving this. I wish to commend the Jospon Group of companies and its affiliates for always following trends in waste management globally and providing same level of technology and also providing jobs for the numerous youths seeking for jobs. I'm grateful to you all for the opportunity, and I look forward to working with you all in the Let's Make Accra Work agenda. Let us rise and build together for God and country. I thank you very much, and God bless you all.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister, the Honorable Henry Quartey. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. And so thank you for that warm note of welcoming us to the city and to her heart. This morning, Mr. President, Honorable Ministers of State, it is my pleasure to give to us the man who has been at the center of providing sustainable, cutting-edge waste management service to Ghana and beyond. Please welcome the Executive Chairman of the Jospon Group of Companies, Dr. Joseph Sian Ejepong.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Honorable Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Honorable Cecilia Abnadapa, the Minister for Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, Honorable Dambuche, Honorable Ambrose Derry, the Minister for Interior, Honorable Henry Korte, Greater Accra Regional Minister, the Member of Council of States, Honorable Ni Ejiri Blankson, Ministers of State here, present here, Your Excellency Richard Mwanza, the Zambia High Commission, members of the Diplomatic Corps, members of Parliament present, chairmen, members of the Parliamentary Select Committees on Environment, Work and Housing, Local Government and Finance, Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executives, the representative of the National Chief Imam, the General Secretary of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Alexander Nanaya Kumilabi, the entire apostle, prophet, and pastors here of the Church of Pentecost, clergy and other religious leaders, Nime, Name, CEOs of Absa Bank, Zenith Bank, GT Bank, Omni Basic, and other financial institutions, executive and members of the Environmental Service Providers Association and CONIWAS, market queens, and other stakeholders, hardworking, committed, and dedicated members, management of Jospon Group of Companies, friends from the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I thank the Almighty God for His grace and mercy on a day like this. And we should thank all of you for honoring our invitation to this important event aimed at enhancing the collection and haulage of solid waste for improved sanitation. This would not have been possible without the strength of the leadership of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Your Excellency, we are most grateful. We, Jospon Group, are most very grateful and thank you for gracing this occasion. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to begin by referring to some profound views on leadership by two outstanding American intellectuals. One of them is Reverend Theodore Herzberg. Point out that the very essence of leadership is that you have to have a vision. It is not to be a vision, it must be a vision that you articulate clearly and forcefully on every occasion. The other is Warren Bennis, who declares that leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. Your Excellency, the words of both intellectuals evidently define the nature of your leadership. You are not only bold in articulation of your vision, but also you are decisive in transforming into reality. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, words embody the power of creation, as the Bible tells us in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1, that God used words to create the world. What you profess from your heart will surely yield to what you want to benefit. Kindly permit me to repeat the words of Tony Robbins on the essence of words. And I quote, "Throughout human history, our greatest leaders and thinkers have used the power of words to transform our emotions, to enlist us in their causes, and to shape the course of destiny. Words can only create emotions. Words cannot only create emotions. They create actions, and from our actions flow the results of our lives." Unquote. Your Excellency, on 24th April 2017, at a Deba at Jamestown, organized by the English Alata Traditional Council, where you were given the title Ni Kweku Ablade Okuji Aman, which means royal warrior who champions the welfare of his people. You profess the following words, and I quote, The commitment I want to make, and which I want you all to make with me, is that by the time I end my term, Accra is going to be the cleanest city in Africa, unquote. Your Excellency, this words that you stated has given birth to these trucks. And that is what Tony Robbins states, that West has the capacity to transform life, and West can cause to change destiny. Today we are here to commission and unveil 500 trucks. A notable accomplishment is the creation, Your Excellency, the creation of the Ministry of Sanitation and the Water Resources for the first time in the history of Ghana. This unique move has made issues of sanitation and the environment a critical part of our development agenda. Through the ministry, you created a vehicle for the coherent and sustained implementation of policy decisions on sanitation. I can say without doubt that we in the private sector and in the sanitation sector have benefited immeasurably from your policy and leadership through the Ministry of Sanitation. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, you have also provided sustainable support to the private sector to deliver on quality sanitation services to the people of Ghana. Support has come in a variety of forms, including the encouragement and facilitation of collaborative efforts between local partners and other stakeholders. We, Jospon Group and Zoom Lion, Koniwas and ESPA, and others waste management companies and other institutions in the waste management sector give credence to the conducive business environment that has been created by your government to ensure that there is growth in the sector in spite of challenges posed by COVID-19. In furtherance to your government's agenda and through the vision and leadership of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, we have been able to achieve and embark on the following infrastructure projects. In 2018, on this ground, through the leadership of His Excellency, the company unveiled 400 trucks to support the waste management system in Ghana. In 2019, through the leadership of His Excellency, and the West that was stated at Jamestown, established the integrated recycling and compost plant at Jamestown. In the year 2020, the completion and the commission of the 1,200-ton Kumasi waste compost and recycling plant was commissioned by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, joined by His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei II. The construction of 1,000 cubic per day Kumasi Wastewater treatment plant, which was just a fortnight ago commissioned by Honorable Cecilia Abanadapa, is a testimonial of West. Shortcutting and construction of Takoradi Tamale waste treatment plants are also ongoing. As we speak now, construction has started and within 12 months will be completed. The shortcutting and construction of integrated recycling and compost plant in all the 16 regions are ongoing as we speak now. 14 medical waste treatment plants, which was captured in Your Excellency, your State of Nation address, the year 2021, has begun and is under construction. The shortcutting and commission of the thermal wastewater treatment plant, Your Excellency, as I speak now, feasibility studies have been completed and construction is here to begin. This is a testimony and a confirmation of your works. Transfer stations of Malam and Ashiaman is ongoing. At present, Your Excellency, Ghana can boast of 41 waste processing plants in this country, of which South Africa, of which Nigeria, and other big countries in Africa do not have it. Therefore, the west of Jamestown, that by the end of your term, Accra will become the cleanest city in Africa. This is West fulfillment, as Tony Robbins attested. 38 of the 41 treatment and processing plants were constructed under your tenure. 38 of them. Before you profess, we have about 5 plants. Now, 38 of them were done by you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I humbly want to crave the indulgence for us to applaud His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for his leadership and the fulfillment. I will humbly pause here and say that West has power to create or to destroy. As leaders and as citizens, we must look at the West that we use. When His Excellency made a statement, that bold statement at Jamestown, it was like a dream. Personally, I said, how can this be achieved? And when I sat down and looked at all these 38 plans, it became like in the Bible in John chapter 2 verse 19, when Jesus told the Jews, put this temple down and in 3 days, I'll build it up. The Jews said that it took 46 years for us to put this temple. But how can you do it? But Jesus did it by laying down his life and on the third day resurrect. West has power to transform. And let's all embrace the vision of the president, support him, and then say good words to encourage him, and we shall be there. Your Excellency, Ghana has emerged strongly from the most adverse of the COVID-19 pandemic to global admiration because you led the nation with fortitude and decisiveness in fight against COVID-19. You emphasized the role of sanitation and led your government to mobilize the private sector and the Ghana Armed Forces and other security agencies to execute the spraying of markets, schools, and most public places. Today, we have built capacity as a company, enough with more equipment of which you can view them, to be able to deal with any emergency of such issues. Your Excellency, the agenda of making Ghana clean is achievable, and I humbly want to say it's achievable. Through the West, and the statement has encouraged Scania, the financial institution, to give funding of 40 million euros to acquire these trucks and give so many years to pay them off. We've also received $10,000 from EcoBank to buy dustbins and distribute dustbins to houses. All this, $10 million from EcoBank, a facility of $10 million from EcoBank to do this. All these are from West of leadership. We also have received $10 million to acquire tricycles. And Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, within the few months, we'll be receiving 5,000 tricycles designed purposely for waste services. Designed purposely for waste services to be distributed to the metropolitan and district assemblies. Your Excellency, all these initiatives made possible by your tremendous support and the partnership of your government with the private sector to make Accra and Ghana the cleanest city and country. We are here today to unveil the 100 state-of-art compacted trucks, and some disinfection equipment which constitute part of the total 500 trucks expected to arrive in Ghana. And I humbly want to put on record that by 18th June, we will receive 50 of them. By July ending, we'll receive 98 trucks. And then by October to November, we'll receive the remaining 200 trucks. And all this are funded by our partners, Scania and the banks. Your Excellency, I'm happy to announce that these trucks are very modern, and we engage the Ghana Armed Forces Training School to train drivers for defensive driving. 50 of these drivers are women, and one of them will display to your attestation. We believe in the gender balance, and as a company who deals with sanitation, we know how women are very important in the role of sanitation issues. Your Excellency, the world has noticed your tremendous courage to create your own sanitation budget to fund your sanitation-related issues. So the sanitation levy established under the year 2021 budget is the essence of Ghana Beyond Aid. We are all aware that previously sanitation funding are being supported by donor funding through your leadership, $1 million. And as I speak to you now, feasibility studies have started and soon will be commenced. As we work towards a clean Ghana, we must all commit to the vision of His Excellency the President. We must also support existing initiatives such as the Environmental Care Campaign by the Church of Pentecost, the Chief Imam's Campaign on Cleanliness, projects of civil society, the graphic communications, and other media partners. We are also pleading with the local authorities, the MMDCs, as earlier reiterated by the Minister of Greater Accra Regional Minister, that clean your operation, clean your frontage. We humbly want to place on record that we have dustbins that we are producing here. We have a plant that produces 400 per hour, and we are trying to see how best to implement it. Ladies and gentlemen, can you humbly imagine a beautiful nation like Ghana, where trees are planted everywhere? And we want to commend the government through the Ministry of Land and Natural Resources of the 5 million trees that are going to be planted. The Church of Pentecost has also embarked on 1 million trees. I humbly want to plead that we all must join hands, because West is achievable. Fellow Ghanaians, my brothers and sisters, let us all embrace the vision to work towards a clean Ghana. We must all commit ourselves to the present vision, and the Lord will make it fulfilled. Thank you very much for your attention. And as I sit down, I'll play that we'll watch a video of the tracks that we are yet to unveil. Thank you, and God richly bless you.
Mr. President, as soon as you were sworn in as president, you indicated your desire to make sanitation and environmental issues a major agenda of your government. You created a ministry for sanitation for the first time in the history of government.
I reiterated before you my pledge of improving sanitation in the country and making Accra the cleanest city in Africa by the end of my term. Mr. Speaker, there's been a significant improvement in sanitation, even though I acknowledge more can be done.
Mr. President, Ghana has emerged out of the worst part of the COVID-19 pandemic with such flying colors to global admiration because you led the nation with fortitude and decisiveness. There again, you emphasized on sanitation, and you led your government to mobilize the private sector and the Ghana Armed Forces to provide for the spraying of markets, schools, and most public places. Then you delivered one of the key elements of good sanitation to the people for free at a critical time. You gave free water to the Ghanaian people to facilitate better sanitation practices.
Ghana Water Company Limited and the Electricity Company of Ghana have been directed to ensure the stable supply of water and electricity during this period. In addition, there will be no disconnection of supply. Furthermore, government will absorb the water bills for all Ghanaians for the next 3 months.
Again, towards the end of your first term, and together with your Santehene, you commissioned a massive solid waste treatment plant in Kumasi and a treatment plant in each of the 16 regions. Mr. President, we are happy to report that all 16 plants are at various stages of completion, and when completed, they will all look like this. Mr. President, a few weeks ago, your Minister for Sanitation commissioned a liquid waste treatment plant in Kumasi, and today we are here to begin another major phase in the entire sanitation value chain. This, the first phase of these 500 trucks, will make for swift movement of waste around the cities to rid all our cities of uncleared filth or overflowing dustbins. Mr. President, this has been made possible by your tremendous support and the partnership of your government with the private sector to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa. Mr. President, the world has noticed your tremendous courage to create our own sanitation budget to fund the vision. We refer to your decision to establish a sanitation levy under the 2021 budget. That is the essence of Ghana Beyond Aid. The private sector is encouraged and fully committed to the vision. So Nime, Name, distinguished invited guests, Minister for Sanitation Honorable Cecilia Dapa, the Zoom Lion Group, let's have all say Ayiko to the President, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. Mr. President, continue to lead us into a Ghana Beyond Aid.
A leader of tremendous progress, the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, one more time. And how about a resounding round of applause for his partner and brother, the Executive Chairman of the Jospon Group of Company, a man of great wisdom and conviction. We salute you, sir. And so this morning, Mr. President, all that we see here has been achieved on the back of partnership. It is my pleasure to acknowledge with gratitude the overwhelming support of the Scania company, the providers of these trucks. We have with us the managing director, who doubles also as the consular at the Swedish Embassy in Ghana, Mr. Frederick Mo-Singh. Thank you very much for joining us. In his company is the Ghana-Sweden Chamber of Commerce President and his wife, Mr. and Mrs. Van der Poy. A round of applause for them too. And they were instrumental in aiding us to obtain these trucks from Sweden. This morning, it's my pleasure to also acknowledge the support of the Select Committee on Works and Housing, the Select Committee on Finance and Economic Planning, the Select Committee on Sanitation and Water Resources, and the Select Committee on Local Government, Decentralization, and Rural Development. Let's hear it up for our honorable MPs. We salute you. Thank you very much. It is proper that we hear from the Minister for Local Government, Decentralization, and Rural Development. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you the Honorable Daniel Boche.
Your Excellency, the President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I stand on the existing protocol. The Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, responsible for the MMDAs, wishes to give assurance to Zoom Lion of its strong support and partnership as part of efforts in achieving the goal of improved environmental health and sanitation in the metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies. Let me reiterate, the Ministry will endeavor to deepen intersectoral collaboration, especially with the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources, to ensure that all MMDAs achieve the SDGs related to water and sanitation. We are here to listen to the Minister for Water and Sanitation and His Excellency. So following from the sermon from the Executive Chairman of Jospon on the meaning of words and the power in words, we will say a few words here and say, Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that I, on behalf of my ministry and the Metropolitan Municipal and district assemblies, we do pledge our full cooperation with Zoom Lion to ensure that these state-of-the-art vehicles procured will be fully, properly, and better used in the service of our dear citizens. Thank you very much.
Short, incisive, wise words. We thank you ever so much, the Minister for Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development. This morning, Mr. President, it's my pleasure to acknowledge all Greater Accra Assembly members, together with all presiding members of the various MMDAs. Let's hear it up for them. Thank you very much. They are here together with the Select Committee on Environment, Science and Technology. We say thank you very much too. It's my pleasure now to invite to speak to us the Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, ladies and gentlemen, the indefatigable, the Honorable Cecilia Abna Dapa.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Member of the Council of State, colleague Ministers of State, Honorable Members of Parliament, the Chairman of Jospon Group of Companies, all stakeholders in sanitation led by ESPA, our religious leaders, members of the Diplomatic Corps, MMDCs, NIME, NAME, Chief Director, and staff of the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources, the media, ladies and gentlemen, good day. Mr. President, during your tenure, the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources has continuously pushed your vision of making Ghana clean and healthy so as to develop as a healthy nation. Mr. President, you have personally chaired meetings on sanitation. You have put funds into sanitation. You are the only president I have checked so far around the world that has given free water to all Ghanaians for a whole year. And you continue to do so for the vulnerable in our society. Above all, you have given us a line budget known as the Sanitation Levy, Sanitation and Pollution Levy. These are very laudable achievements, and I must say that you have put your money where your mouth is. Sanitation is so dear to your heart that every time you see the Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, then you remind her of your promise to make Accra the cleanest and Ghana a clean country. Mr. President, since you launched the National Sanitation Campaign in 2017, we've made a lot of interventions. We have launched a 5-year Ghana government-funded 20,000 street litter bins, and so far we have procured 8,100 litter bins that have been distributed in Accra, Kumasi, Takoradi, and Tamale. We have also done so to some selected institutions, including GJ, the Army, and the police. We will still pursue the agenda to continue to inculcate good hygienic practices into all of us. Most of these bins have been, I'll say, bastardized, but we will not give up on the Ghanaian. We know that we will all come through to making Accra and our big cities a clean place. Through the Greater Accra Sustainable Sanitation and Livelihood Improvement Project, known as GASLIP, funded by GOG and AFDB, motorized tricycles, litter bins, and skip containers have been supplied to all the assemblies in Greater Accra. Also, under the Garrett project funded by the World Bank, transfer stations and new landfill sites are being built. We are also going to cap existing landfill sites, for instance, the one near Pantan. For the first time in the history of this nation, Mr. President, we have evacuated very, very old heaps of waste all over the country. And the number of years that these heaps have been existing, they range between 5 years and 100 years. We have also encouraged, through the Ministry of Local Government, assemblies to have engineered landfill sites. We have also piloted segregation in some institutions. The ministry has had an input into the syllabus of the Ministry of Education on sanitation. We have also made an input into the plastic policy under MESTI, and this will soon be rolled out. We also have an input in the questionnaire for the 2021 census. And for the first time, Mr. President, we will have data on how many households have toilets and how households dispose of their solid and liquid waste. We will hope to use this data to feed into our plans for development. We have carried out major cleaning and cleansing of our major cities during the COVID lockdown. This was done in collaboration with the forces and Zoom Lion. Through the Community Water and Sanitation Agency, we have continuously undertaken public education on sanitation with emphasis on attitudinal change. There has also been collaboration with the public and private sector media, as well as NGOs, to ensure a cleaner environment. We have also had an excellent working relationship with the stakeholders in the sanitation space, especially with CONIWAS and ESPA. The ministry has also set up the National Task Force on Environmental Sanitation. We have also consolidated, Mr. President, through your instructions, all the bylaws so as to make them more effective. We are also working and sprucing up our documents to take to Cabinet the policy on National Sanitation Authority. Mr. President, we have also encouraged the adding of value to waste. As one said somewhere, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Finally, we will gear towards incineration and doing projects in waste to energy. We have a pilot project going on in the Nwabeja district, and very soon we will have it replicated in other areas. Mr. President, on this note, I want to commend the Zoom Lion group of companies and to also pledge to also work and support the private sector in the sanitation sector. Thank you, Mr. President, for all your support to us in the sanitation and water resources space. Thank you, and God bless us.
something said, you call a man. If you need something done, you certainly need a woman like Ghana's Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources. Please, the Honorable Cecilia Abnadapa, a resounding round of applause. We thank you for your leadership that inspires each and every day. And now, ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure to give to you the man whose words have inspired us to make for ourselves and posterity a cleaner and healthier Ghana, the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Eminent clergy, Greater Accra Regional Minister, Member of the Council of State, Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Minister for Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, Minister for the Interior, Chairperson and members of Parliament Select Committee on Works and Housing, and other members of Parliament, Executive Chairman of Jospon Group of Companies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Nime, Name, Wulome, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. Today marks another important milestone in our efforts to address the vexed issue of waste management in Ghana in order to achieve the Clean Ghana agenda. I'm here with you today to unveil 101 waste management trucks and 25 disinfection trucks secured by Zoom Lion Ghana Limited, undoubtedly the biggest company in the waste management industry. These trucks are going to be used to cast waste from our business districts and communities to landfill sites and waste treatment facilities and help in the ongoing disinfection exercise of spaces and institutions that have been rolled out since the onset of COVID-19. It is a clear manifestation of the commitment of progressive elements in the private sector to work with government to deliver quality infrastructure, in this case, addressing the waste management situation in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, rapid population growth, with its consequent increase in human activities at the residential, commercial, and industrial levels, has meant that waste generation activities continue to be a challenge in the country. Currently, in total, we generate some 7,517,540 metric tons of waste. This situation, you would agree, presents enormous investment opportunities for which the private sector can take advantage. I would therefore reiterate my invitation for more private sector companies to collaborate with government in creating business opportunities in the waste management space, such as waste to energy, materials recovery, recycling, and compositing. Government will continue to create an enabling environment where private sector players would have the opportunity to help provide sustainable waste management services in the country. Government remains committed to achieving our development objectives, as well as our targets under the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. That is health under Goal 3, waste and sanitation under Goal 6, decent work and economic growth under Goal 8, sustainable cities and communities under Goal 11, and climate change under Goal 13. Today, all over the world, the integrated waste management approach has been embraced as one of the most appropriate technologies in the management of waste. I'm glad to state the government is collaborating with the Jospon group of companies, of which Zoomlion is a part, to set up 16 state-of-the-art integrated recycling and composite plants in all the 16 regions of the country. This is a good, positive intervention, and it would go a long way to help manage waste effectively. I've been reliably informed that the construction of the waste facilities, as I indicated in my message to Parliament on the State of the Nation earlier this year, is on course and at various stages of development in the different regions. Excuse me. The siting of such infrastructure in the regions comes with accompanying benefits, such as the creation of jobs and an improvement in social amenities, such as good roads, potable water, and extension of electricity, all of which help improve the domestic economy. Fellow Ghanaians, the success of municipal waste management is tied to the collection and transportation of waste to the final disposal sites. Thus, the procurement of these 101 waste management trucks by Zoomlion Ghana Limited will augment the existing fleet of vehicles to improve waste collection and transportation in the country. These are the first batch of 500 trucks that are being procured to assist in the sector. I commend Zoomlion Ghana Limited, which has been at the forefront of waste management in the country, for the giant strides it has taken so far. I encourage the company to continue with its good work and help support government to make the country clean and achieve the Clean Ghana objective. With the imminent commencement of the 2021 population and housing census by the Ghana Statistical Service on Sunday, 27 June 2021, I urge everyone gathered here to help ensure a successful event. For the first time, the water, sanitation, and hygiene, i.e. wash sector, has been given prominence in the questionnaire developed for the census. We hope to use the reliable data obtained to plan and develop Mother Ghana more effectively. Accordingly, it is my pleasure to unveil the initial 101 new waste management trucks and 25 disinfection trucks. May God bless Zoomlion us all, and may God bless our homeland Ghana and make her great and strong. I thank you for your attention.
The President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. We're grateful to you, Mr. President, for your far-sighted leadership and your motivation for us even to do more. Mr. President, I think today I've heeded your call. I'm looking like you. This morning, Mr. President, it's my pleasure to invite a daughter of yours. She's one out of the 50 female drivers who have been trained by Zoomlion for this purpose. It's my pleasure to invite Miss Mabel Abna Kwashiga.
Good morning, Mr. President. Honorable members of the state, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, fellow workers. I'm Mabel Abna Kwashiga,
one of the heavy-duty drivers of Jospon Groups of Company, popularly known as Zoom Lion Ghana. I feel honored to introduce to you the Scania ST 2021 waste compactor, which with a 360 horsepower engine and a 4-wheel optical drive. Your Excellency, the compactor is 20 meters cube, which carries 12 to 13 tons of waste. Our training has been one of the best, setting up to deliver on your mandate, to us to ensure that Ghana becomes the cleanest country in Africa. I humbly invite you for a tour and practical demonstration at the end of the proceeding. Thank you.
Wow. Hello, Mabel Kwashiga. Now go greet your father, the President of the Republic. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. It is interesting to note that the great Fidel Castro said in 1973 that the world will come to us when America has a black president and the world has a Latin pope. It took 43 years, but in his lifetime, it came to pass. Today, we witness words and their power to effect change. Mr. President, we want to assure you that in your lifetime, in your tenure, you will see Accra and Ghana as the cleanest nation in Africa, because you have the great Honorable Cecilia Abnadapa, you have the great Honorable Dan Botry, and you have Zoom Lion and the great Dr. Joseph Sianwe-Jepong, and a host of armed men and women who are ready to deliver on your mandate. To this end, we can only stand and invoke the blessings of Allah as we receive the representative of the Chief Imam, his spokesperson, Sheikh Aremiyao Shaibu.
Let us pray. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Almighty Allah, Almighty God, we want to give you thanks and praises in a manner that is befitting of your holiness and highness. Thank you for this morning and thank you for this program. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your favors. Thank you for your care. And thank you for the protection you have offered our country. Thank you for good leadership. Thank you for the life of the President and all ministers behind him. And thank you for everything that you have done for our country. Sanitation is good for our own health, and originally that is the way you made the world. That the world must be so clean in which humans dwell with comfort and prosperity. There has come a time when we have reneged on our duty to keep our environment clean, and so we become sufferers of our own negligence. But thank you for inspiration and for guidance that has led us to this level where we are here to outdoor this huge number of waste management cars that will help us to achieve the mandate for our President to make sure Accra becomes the cleanest city in our country. We thank you. We cannot do this on our own, so we invoke you, O Almighty Allah, by your mercy and grace, to inspire, strengthen our hands and our resolve, that we all, even as we do this, even in our minds, will pursue a step towards guaranteeing the cleanness and to improve our health. Allahumma inni as'aluka ya man yamliku hawaij as-sa'ilin wa ya'lamu dhama'ir as-samitin wa inna laka fi kulli mas'alatin sam'an hadiran wa jawaban 'atida wa inna laka fi kulli samitin 'ilman natiqan muhita مواعيدك صادقة وعيادك واصلة ورحمتك واسعة ونعمتك سابغة أن تنظر إلينا بنظرة رحمة يا كريم يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
May God bless you, Mr. President. May God bless Zoom Lion, and may God bless us all. Mr. President, respectfully, I shall invite you and the members of the official party, together with Miss Mabel Abna Kwasiga, to please proceed to the ribbon, where we shall cut the tape first.
All right, so we are still at the Independence Square, where His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo is leading the team that is going to unveil the over 500 trucks that have been packed at the Independence Square. So we've had the ministers of various sectors take their turn as far as waste management and making Accra the cleanest city is concerned, take their turn in giving or delivering their speeches of what they intend to do in helping and contributing to what we intend to do with the nation as far as making Ghana clean is concerned. So we've had Mr. Damboche come through, and he represented the Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development. Also, the final one that delivered her speech was Honorable Cecilia Abena Dapa, who is Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, who also talked about what they've done, or her ministry has done so far as keeping Accra clean is concerned in terms of water, resources, toilet facilities in homes, and how the country can build the data that will help us, know the number of homes that have been supplied or that have been provided with toilet facilities. Earlier on, we also had the Minister for Greater Accra, Henry Quarter, come through with his address, and we already have seen on Metro TV the works that the Minister for Greater Accra, Henry Quarter, has been doing or has started already with the people of Accra, with traders on the streets of Accra collaborating when he requests for them moving from where they have, been sitting for a while as far as their trade business is concerned, just so they will make way for him to clean the area that he gets to whenever he wants to do the cleaning. So as you can see, the president is done. He is giving his word by, collaborating. He's called for more private sector collaboration with government as far as the project or the aim or the vision of keeping the Accra or Ghana clean is concerned. We have seen, or in our shots, that the president is done with his job and he's now leaving the the Independence Square. The Independence Square. So he's already sat in his car and the vehicle has started and it's moving. So the program obviously has ended. We're expecting that Zoom Lion Ghana Limited has brought in the over 500 trucks. Will put them to use as it has already assured. It's Dr. Joseph Sianwe Japon, who is executive chairman for the Jospon Group, of which Zoom Lion is a subsidiary of the group. And he has indicated what work that he intends to put the trucks to. As far as we are concerned, Ghana is on the process of making the country clean and making Accra the cleanest city in Africa. That is a big project indeed. So we all will have hands on deck and make sure that that project will be achieved. So Mr. Joseph Sian, when he spoke, has also indicated some things or some achievements that Zoom Lion has already done. Welcome, good afternoon.
Thank you, Annie, and good afternoon to you.
Right, so what do you think of what we have seen so far?
The president has been talking about how he wants to make Accra the cleanest city in all of Africa. Hopefully, these new tracks, technologically powered tracks, will enhance the effort to ensure that Accra indeed becomes, the cleanest city across Africa. So welcome to this beat. I am Bryce and Akwesi Amenin. Welcome to Newsbeat Live on Metro TV. We are live on DSTV channel 277, live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana. Same handle on YouTube at Metro TV Ghana and on Twitter at Metro TV GH. First in the bulletin, the Accra Regional Director of the National Disaster Management Organization, Archibald Kobina, has served notice that structures on waterways at the Kumasi First Light area, which caused perennial flooding, will be demolished. Speaking to Metro News, Archibald Kobina said his outfit, together with the Ablekuma Central Municipal Assembly, will undertake this exercise to bring sanity.
Over the years, Kumasi First Light and surrounding communities like Kofi Owusu and Bubuashi have become heavily populated, with settlements spreading to the floodplains, with encroachers also settling on drains and waterways. Greater Accra Regional Director of NADMO, Archibald Kobina, says decongesting the waterways will help curb perennial flooding and aid associated casualties in Kumasi and other communities.
Flood disaster is very dangerous for various reasons, apart from the fact that when it comes in and fills our home, people die, apart from the fact that we lose cars, our properties, our homes and all of that. The other danger, like in the case of June 3rd, as for the clearance in terms of those on waterways, together with the assemblies, we will ensure that. But once we have done that, Hydro have come in, we have ensured that the routes and whatever has to be done are done. The waterway is clear and we've expanded the drains, or whatever has to be done is done. Subsequent to that, who sits where and who doesn't sit where falls squarely in the hands of the assembly regarding this particular area.
Taxpayer Service Center Manager of the Mataiko branch of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Richard Ajago, explained how activities of encroachers and flood have marred their work in the past years.
Last week, we had some 15 minutes rain. It took 3 hours for the water to flow away. And so when it happens, so we have a challenge of, taxpayers parking their cars to come in and pay their taxes. Apart from that, even the staff, where they park their cars, the water submerges the cars submerge in the water. And so it poses a very serious problem whenever there's rainfall around.
Edward Bai is a landlord whose frontage has been taken over by encroachers.
And I'm surprised the assembly will give a permit to, it's built on the waterway. Because see this one, when it floods now, you see all the water sweeps onto the road because of that, what is done. You see, which we are not expecting the assembly to even give them a permit to do that. Right now, the same assembly came and did this. Imagine, it's a death trap. This is a death trap.
Chairman of the Carnation First Light Car Dealers Association, Paul Ajikum, is however of the view that the car dealers on the stretch are not guilty of encroaching on waterways in the community.
The drainage had been choked for years, and we've reported to the AMA, and they are aware about it. We have a permit over it, and the civil engineer from AMA, they have a right to give us a permit. They came to our place to have a look at it before giving us a permit to do it. So the civil engineer is aware, and they know how it can help, so that they give us a permit to do it.
Metro News will keep you updated in due time. Shadrach Odame Ejari, Metro News, Accra.
Severe pollution of the Butre River by Galamsey activities has left residents with a brown-colored water for their daily use, including drinking. They say they have no alternative to this contaminated river. Metro News Henry Kwesibedu visited some communities along the Butre River in the western region and has filed this report.
The Butre River runs through the Ahanta West municipality as well as the Mpoho and the Wasa East district in the western region. The river is the major source of water for residents of Ewusejo, Freti, Otopo and other communities close by. Residents say the water was clean and clear before the river was taken over by Galamsey activities.
85 years now yeah, when Nambu was soon, you consume the Damanampu or Dambu, and that is Nai, Bibasa, and Tumusunu.
Women and children in this community use the river water for all their domestic work. Despite the pollution from mining and washing in the river, residents drink this water without any treatment. Food vendors around here also source their water from the polluted river. Comfort Person, who operates a small eatery, says she has no choice than to use the contaminated water to make food for sale.
I say, Nana, yes, I had Eddie Bamia Bibiala, and in so baby, Papi away, Nina, I say, Missinamba. It is here, Nines, I did Bibiala, and in so babyala. I'm saying for so what you want, I see when you walk. Then you what walk a clear. Yes, I near the alarm near the atom.
23-year-old Innocent Mochian is unemployed and lives with his parents here. He complains about side effects whenever he uses the water from the Butre River for bathing. He adds that he cannot afford to buy water.
Because one thing, it might be and now you soon so on and sister so a Ghana had a make a crew Ghana and a Jumania. You must have widen.
Residents here are pleading with authorities to clamp down Galamsey activities soon in order to save their source of water, the Butre River.
The Galamsey people have polluted the water. Because of that, you can't use it to cook and bath. Sometimes when you bath and our self is engineered, so you want the Galamsey people to stop doing that so that you can use it to cook and bath.
Henry Kwesibedu, Metro News, Ewusejo.
Such a disturbing situation right there in Butre. But away from the western region, let's now go to the northern part of the country as concerned youth of MPP in the northern region have called on President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo not to accept the alleged manipulated list of vetted mayor aspirants of the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly. Now, according to the NPP Youth Group, the shortlisted names of aspirants approved by the vetting committee was later changed by the Northern Regional Executives and presented to the President for his consideration. Our Northern Regional correspondent Al-Hassan Dibaba filed this report and is read to you.
The Youth Group in a press conference organized in Tamale stated that the regional executives are lobbying for their favorite to be appointed MMDCs so they can continue with some dubious deals they carried out during the first 4 years of the Nanado-led administration.
The NPP Northern Regional Executive led by Chairman Samba have replaced majority of MMDC's applicants' names.
Why that? Why that?
Which were selected by the region's MMDC's vetting committee with their preferred candidates. We are astonished that despite the effective and orderly manner with which the vetting committee did its work, the Northern Regional Executive still went ahead to form a cabal to manipulate the process in order to deceive the President and the Vice President.
According to the group, the assembly members are aware of the intentions of the planted aspirant of the regional executives and will not hesitate to reject them.
We are well aware assembly members across Northern Region are indeed honorable people and will not allow themselves to be influenced by people who are seeking to achieve their sole aggrandizement instead of the interest of the general public. Mr. President, on the unlikely event that any of your nominee is rejected, look no further for who might have caused same.
The NPP Youth Group further called on the President to reject the regional executive's nomination for the position of the mayor.
Let's now come back to Accra as waste management giant Zoomlion Ghana, as part of efforts to support government in curbing the waste menace in the country, has unveiled a number of new trucks to help fight against poor sanitary conditions in the country. The trucks, which are technologically powered, is to improve Ghana's waste management. An executive chairman of the Jospon Group, Dr. Joseph Siaon Ejapon, commended President Akufo-Addo for his support in waste management in the country.
The shortcutting and construction of integrated recycling and compost plant in all the 16 regions are ongoing as we speak now. 14 medical waste treatment plants, which was captured in Your Excellency, your State of Nation address, the year 2021, has begun and is under construction. The shortcutting and commissioning of the thermal wastewater treatment plant, Your Excellency, as I speak now, feasibility studies have been completed and construction is here to begin. This is a testimony and a confirmation of your works. Transport stations of Malam and Ashiaman is ongoing. At present, Your Excellency, Ghana can boast of 41 waste processing plants in this country, of which South Africa, of which Nigeria, and other big countries in Africa do not have it. Therefore, the west of Jamestown, that by the end of your term, Accra will become the cleanest city in Africa. This is west fulfillment, as Tony Robbins attested. 38 of the 41 treatment and processing plants were constructed under your tenure. 38 of them. Before you profess, we have about 5 plants. Now, 38 of them were done by you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I humbly want to crave the indulgence for us to applaud His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for his leadership and the fulfillment. I will humbly pause here and say that West has power to create or to destroy. As leaders and as citizens, we must look at the West that we use. When His Excellency made a statement, that bold statement at Jamestown, it was like a dream. Personally, I said, how can this be achieved? And when I sat down and looked at all these 38 plans, it became like in the Bible in John chapter 2 verse 19, when Jesus told the Jews, put this temple down, and in 3 days, I'll build it up. The Jews said that it took 46 years for us to put this temple. But how can you do it? But Jesus did it by laying down his life, and on the third day resurrect. West has power to transform. And let's all embrace the vision of the president, support him, and then say good words to encourage him, and we shall be there.
The event took place at the Blaster Square here in Accra and ended a few minutes ago. Away from that, former President of Malawi, Her Excellency Dr. Joyce Hilda Banda, has established that there were leaders in Africa long before colonization. She believes women can take positions without being confrontational and antagonizing men, but rather through engagement. So far, Africa has witnessed 6 women presidents. She made this statement on Good Afternoon Ghana with Francisca Rockerforsen.
What does the continent look like in terms of women's representation when it comes to leadership? Does it look good?
Yes, it does. It does because we are one continent that has had 6 women presidents. We just had the 6th one in Tanzania now. So when I speak to women around the world, I always say that we should not bash ourselves. We should be proud of what we've been able to achieve. But I think where we should start from is from the beginning, that we were leaders of our nations on the continent of Africa, even before colonization. And that we must not allow ourselves to forget. So when we ask for participation in leadership now, we're not coming from out of the blues. We are talking about what has happened in the past. The good news is I have a feeling that our men understand that. They understand that we are the majority. They also understand that we bring into this world the other half. But they also understand that we need to participate in leadership. And so I have told my colleagues around the world that the way we have achieved that is not by being confrontational, by antagonizing the same men that have to open space for us to sit at the table. We engage them, and we have succeeded in engaging them.
And our Member of Parliament for South Day constituency, Roxanne Nelson, Defiamepo, says activities of President is not transparent and accountable enough in his dispensations. He says the architecture of the Constitution, which shields him from openness, needs to be reformed so as to hold the President accountable. Meanwhile, the former Executive Director of Dankwa Institute, Richard Hinyagba, says the President has the interest of Ghanaians at heart, and if anyone needs a thorough openness into the dealings, the presidency as a whole should be targeted and not the president as an individual.
Got as much as 21 billion Ghana cedis approved by Parliament to handle COVID. And expending that amount of money, we haven't bought one vaccine, at least not demonstrated. The vaccines we got, not yet. But they have come to account for the 21 billion, supposedly. But I'm saying that for the year that they took the 21 billion to deal with COVID, we couldn't purchase one vaccine. We couldn't build one hospital facility out of the money, supposedly to treat COVID patients. We have not been able to run the asset well, even build centers all over the region for purposes of housing COVID patients. We use makeshift facilities. We had to ask, even classrooms were used. 3 billion of the 21 billion. And we are asking that how did you spend the money? So if you say that because of COVID you are unable to fund your capital projects, it cannot be, because you got the funding. Every single money they ask for, we get.
Is the tone and nature of our conversations to deal with some of these things. They mustn't be confrontational, they mustn't be accusatory. They must be those that are designed to give information and direct development in a way that says that this will help us, that would help us, for people to evaluate and appreciate what points that are being made, and we'll move forward with those. So I agree. But the thing about presidency, there must be some veil of secrecy. It is the presidency. And you have the leader of the executive having committed, sworn an oath to protect the whole country. But we are so I'm saying that, yeah. The thing too we must attribute to the presidency, why that veil of secrecy, is that you have this one person who all of us look up to, and we have vetted and assessed him and see him to be one who champions the very best interest of this country. So things under his control, okay, and leadership, we assume is designed to advance the best interest of this country, which is the reason.
So let's get more update and fact on this. We have been joined on Zoom by the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service, Ellis Robinson Oko. Good afternoon, sir. So what is the latest update on this particular incident, and what is the report saying? Kindly unmute your sound so we can have a conversation, sir. If you are done, I'm asking, what is the latest update on this particular incident, and what does your report say? All right. You're still watching this Be Live here on Metro TV. We are trying to fix the sound to have a conversation with the Public Relations Officer of Ghana National Fire Service, Ellis Robinson. We'll be back from the break with more stories here on this beat. Stay with us.
Need a little help? Nobody does it better. At UCS Facility Management, we give you the best in janitorial services, which include high-rise window cleaning, office cleaning, post-construction cleaning, facade washing, deep cleaning, carpet cleaning, swimming pool cleaning, and event janitorial services. Locate us at Jowolu, JA Plant Pool premises, or call us on 0501-666-322 or 0203-299-212 or 0203-299-234. UCS, your property is under our care.
As a mother and wife, my priority is making sure my family is protected at all times. That is why I never forget to give my angel a Flora disposable handkerchief to keep germs and sweat at bay. When Habi is out in the fields, I'm rest assured of Flora coming in handy anytime he needs it. Even when my daughter Na is out late, I am confident Flora disposable handkerchief will be close enough to save the moment. Flora disposable handkerchiefs are my go-to disposable handkerchiefs any day, anytime, and everywhere. Flora disposable handkerchiefs is affordable and handy. Flora, better than cloth handkerchiefs. Flora is a product of Delta Paper Mill Limited. For inquiries and bulk purchases, call 0243 033 033.
Welcome back. You are still watching this bit live on Metro TV. Let's now go back online and try an attempt to speak to the Public Relations Officer of Ghana National Fire Service, Ellis Robinson Oko, for update on the fire that gutted the market. Welcome back, sir. So I'm asking, what is the latest update on this particular incident, and what is the report saying? All right, that's some sound failure right there. We apologize for that particular one there. Now, standing by right now is Kenneth Jesse, who is coming in with latest in the world of business. Kenneth.
Well, Bright, today in business, we'll be looking at the impact COVID-19 has had on agribusinesses. That and more are coming up shortly. Stay with us. name is Kenneth Jesse. In our first business story, the Ghana Statistical Service has disclosed that an estimated 16,000 agribusiness firms remain closed, with over 78,000 estimated staff laid off and more than 260,000 workers having their wages reduced between 2020 and 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
The findings revealed an increase in the estimated number of job losses for agribusiness workers from 51,000 during the lockdown to 78,000 in the post-lockdown period. In the same vein, workers with reduced wages increased from 175,000 during the lockdown period to 267,000 within May 2020 and January 2021. The data also showed slow demand for goods and services for most agribusinesses, with over 77,000 firms reporting a decline in sales within the post-lockdown period under review. This implies that, though there is some improvement after the lockdown restrictions, which is from 84,000 to 77,000 agribusiness firms reporting sales decline, agribusinesses are yet to recover to the level seen prior to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Let's take a look at how the city is performing against other major trading currencies. And that's it for business. I'm Kenneth Jesse. Bright is standing by for the rest of the news. Bright.
Thank you, Kenneth. And so you're still watching this be live on Metro TV. Quick to be back with more. Don't go anywhere.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Lawful wedded wife to having to hold from this day forward. I do.
I knew it.
How much drama can you enjoy? See it feely with HD Plus. Get the best companion for your HD TV with HD Plus. Dial *879# to activate and enjoy the first 2 months for free.
Welcome back. And so the Black Stars of Ghana go face-to-face with Morocco at 7 p.m. prompt tonight. Phil John Corte has details of this and others in sports.
Well, thank you very much. We're bringing you this and plus what is happening to the national under-23 team. Then we'll go to Paris and find out what is the latest in the French Open.
My name is Faye Jonukote. We are starting the sports segment of the news with preparation involving Ghana and the Moroccan counterparts. Tonight is at 7 o'clock and the Blasters held their final training session at the Fast Sporting Stadium.
CK Akono took his players through some endurance work, ball retention, team defending, wing play and shooting. Ghana will take on the Atlas Lion of Morocco in a test match on Tuesday, June 8, as part of the team's build-up to the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers scheduled for September this year. Midfielder Gladson Awako hobbled off in Monday's training in Rabat following a minor knock. The Accra Great Olympics talisman, who has been very instrumental for his club in the ongoing Ghana Premier League, had a small cut at the internal part of the right leg and was immediately given medical treatment. The 2009 FIFA Under-20 World Cup winner, who made his full Ghana debut against Sao Tome and Principe in March this year, is currently being assessed regarding his availability for Tuesday's match.
Well, ahead of the match, the members of the Blaster team, that is players and technical staff, took a walk through the streets of Rabat, that is the Moroccan capital that is ahead of the tie tonight. There you see the players over there trying to familiarize with their situation on the streets of Rabat ahead of their tie against the Moroccans. The team is led by CK Akron, Captain Andre Dede Ayew and his brother Jordan Ayew are all part of the team. Let's focus now on the national under-20 team. They played their second match against the men from Japan. And once again, just like the first game, they were embarrassed by 4-0. The national under-23 team, the Black Meteors, who are on the Asian tour, they were embarrassed by 4-0. In the first match played on Saturday, they were beaten by 6-0. Well, that's it for sports. My name is Faye Jonukote. Harriet is standing by with the latest from Showbiz.
This is entertainment news on Newsbeat. There's more after this. So, Kamido, a Celestine Donko episode, Kwame Eugene, Kelvin Boy, Adina, Kwesi Arthur, Amerado, and others are set to perform at the 2021 edition of the annual VGMA Experience Concert on Saturday, June 12, 2021. The event is part of the 5 other exciting activities that have been embarked to heighten the VGMA experience in the music month of June. The VGMA Experience Concert aims to give fans and nominees the opportunity to engage ahead of the main awards night scheduled for 25th and 26th. According to the organizers, Charterhouse Ghana, the event promises to be a night of great music as it has enlisted some of the best names in Ghanaian music to thrill fans across Ghana and beyond in a string of live musical performances. That's it for entertainment news. My name is Harriet. Up next is international news.
Welcome back. So more than 800 suspected criminals have been arrested worldwide after being tricked into using an FBI-run encrypted messaging app, officials say. Now, the operation, jointly conceived by Australia and the FBI, saw devices where the Anum app secretly distributed among criminals, allowing police to monitor their chats about drug smuggling, money laundering, and even murder plots. Officials called it a watershed moment. Targets included drug gangs and people with links to the mafia. Drugs, weapons, luxury vehicles and cash were also seized in the operation. This included 8 tons of cocaine, 250 guns and more than $48 million in various worldwide currencies and cryptocurrencies. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison said the operation has struck a heavy blow against organized crime around the world. Europol described Operation Trojan Shield Greenlight as the biggest ever law enforcement operation against encrypted communication. And that's it for the news here on Metro TV. This has been Be Live from our studio here at Region Accra, the Akuya Bohima Studios. I am Bryce Nanakwesi. The news will be back at 4 with News Flash. Have a good afternoon.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Ghana is a beautiful country. There is so much of it you probably haven't seen, haven't experienced, haven't touched, haven't felt, haven't eaten. When this is all over, let's discover our land again with new eyes. Let's feel each other again. We are one people, brought together by destiny. Let's make that count. Let's show love for each other and our environment. Let's tell our stories, and let's watch and listen to our stories. There will be so much to tell. Ghana is a truly beautiful country. Be Ghana, stay in Ghana, experience Ghana, make Ghana great. And we will invite the world to come and experience Ghana too. But for now, stay home. Brought to you by the National Film Authority. Supports the Stay Home and Discover Ghana Later campaign. This channel supports the campaign.
God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Ghana is a beautiful country. There is so much of it you probably haven't seen, haven't experienced, haven't touched, haven't felt, haven't eaten. When this is all over, let's discover our land again with new eyes. Let's feel each other again. We are one people, brought together by destiny. Let's make that count. Let's show love for each other and our environment. Let's tell our stories, and let's watch and listen to our stories. There will be so much to tell. Ghana is a truly beautiful country. Be Ghana, stay in Ghana, experience Ghana, make Ghana great. And we will invite the world to come and experience Ghana too. But for now, stay home. Brought to you by the National Film Authority. Supports the Stay Home and Discover Ghana Later campaign. This channel supports the campaign.
God bless our homeland, Ghana.
You're in our brave new world now. It's about owning your story, who you truly are. You don't have to change who you are. There's always a way to get what you want.
We're gonna die.
Finding me, I'll find you.
I met a woman. I want to be with her for the rest of my life.
I can explain.
That you're out with your father.
Young lady, this is completely inappropriate.
We hope you'll treat our house as your home.
Cinema Time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. only on Metro TV.
Trick or treat!
last name.
Do. Kid Zone, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Only on Metro TV.
The world has seen a lot of evolution in recent times. Global network facilitated by trade continues to grow stronger and forge nations closer together.
On International Trade Focus, we'll share with you the current industry, tech and commercial avenues turning the world's trade wheel. This is your gateway to international business connections and trading events. Get the inside views, vital information, trends and analysis on emerging trade giants in Ghana and beyond. International Trade Focus, the global television trade showcase, transcending barriers in creativity and innovation. Join me, Anna Spiel, as I give you a whole menu of international trade activities. International Trade Focus, your timely business hub. International Trade Focus is brought to you by GO, ADB, Pediastic Valley Resorts and Public Elegance.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Which can improve the parliamentary practice and procedure of the Parliament of Ghana. Thank you, Chair.
Chairman, one thing that was striking was the clear powers that their Privileges Committee had as opposed to what we do have here. And so clearly that learning, of course, the functions of the Kenyan Parliament, the benefits that attaches to that office, the powers that they have in terms of their contribution to national development. They have offices in their constituencies that is fully funded by the state, that gives them the ability to influence development in their constituencies directly, as opposed to ours where everything that government does necessarily is through the Legislative Assembly. And so there was a clear distinction between our parliament and the Kenyan parliament. And of course, when we went, we were directly, as members of the Privileges Committee of Ghana's parliament, engaged with that of Kenya. And one striking thing, like I said, was the powers of the committee that was different from what it is that we have here.
Chairman, thank you. Coming back home to the ministry for which you've been nominated to assist the minister as a deputy minister, are you familiar with the Petroleum Revenue Management Act?
Mr. Chairman, I have procured a copy of it for myself and still studying it.
Chairman, Ghana is rated on the basis of best practice we learned from Norway, from Nigeria, to improve the governance of our petroleum revenue. You have the annual budget funding amount, you have the heritage fund, you have the stabilization fund. Haven't followed the operation of the law. Which aspects of it would you want to see reviewed and to achieve what with it? Thank you, Chair.
Chairman, I believe that when my minister attended
For over 2 decades, we have communicated with our audience through our stories. And in the past few years, a new wave of talent.
You're in our brave new world now. It's about owning your story, who you truly are.
You don't have to change who you are. There's always a way to get what you want.
We're gonna die. Finding me, I'll find you.
I met a woman. I want to be with her for the rest of my life.
I can explain.
That you're out with your father.
Young lady, this is completely inappropriate.
We hope you'll treat our house as your home.
Cinema Time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. only on Metro TV.
And I see you have a certificate here, the MSc Planning. Is that really the certificate?
Yes, Chairman.
Was it not the one that we called Spring?
Yes, Chairman. It was the one we called Spring.
So is it not MSc Planning and Management?
It's MSc Planning. Mr. Chairman, let me look at the certificate itself very well and be able to tell you. Development Planning and Management. MSc Development Planning and Management, Chairman.
When you say the certificate is MSc Planning, and I'm from that department, I get worried because I knew that that's not the description of that certificate. So maybe you need to take steps to correct that.
Thank you, Chair.
The Chairman, if you look at the CV again, on employment history, there's indication on the C that October 1st, 2016 to date, lawyer in the Chambers, Cape Coast. Even as Deputy Minister for Employment, you are still practicing in this chamber. Is that what it means?
Chairman, before I became a Deputy Minister, I got clearance from Office of Profit. So in the event that I was called to do some work there, why not? I'll do work in the background. Thank you, Chair.
So you were still working there even though you were a Deputy Minister?
Chairman, my license was there, but for the portfolio which I occupied, I could not get time to go and work.
So is it not better to indicate it appropriately since you became deputy? Because when you say from October 1st to date, yes, you'll have taken the Office of Profit certificate from Speaker that have authorized you can work. But since you've not been able to work there, don't you think it is better to limit it to indicate that you are no longer in the chambers? Or you still believe that when an opportunity comes, you go there and work?
Mr. Chairman, I am guided. Thank you.
Yeah, the reason why I'm saying this is that you notice that of late there's a lot of complaint about MPs, politicians, and what have you, taking public time to go to school and do other things. Yes, it's permissible, like you know, if you take the Office of Profit and you are given certificate, and you can prove to the committee that the work there would not interfere in any way with your functions, you are allowed to do that. So where you are not really doing it, I thought it would be better to indicate that. Anyway, Mr. Chairman, in answering to a question earlier about how we can create a level playing field for ordinary Ghanaian citizens to be able to apply for a job and be confident that it is going to be meritorious. When you merit it, you get it. He talked about digitalization of the system. You think by just digitalizing, it will take the human interference out?
Mr. Chairman, I said to a large extent, yes.
Because it's garbage in, garbage out. I mean, you see, for example, the current security services. Yes, the digitalization will just tell the person qualify or disqualify. But all the qualify, I'm sure all MPs sitting around here are currently having one or two that are pestering you that the computerized system says I've qualified. So this one, I've done my part. Try and do your best to get me the job. So it still leaves you with the human interference. Don't you believe that we need to do more than just the digitalization to be able to ensure equity, as you yourself said earlier?
Yeah, Chairman, I believe so. And like I said, it's one of the first steps. The other will be a collective responsibility by all of us. So as a ministry, when I'm giving the nod, God willing, I will discuss that with my minister and we champion how to come up with a transparent process, some of a policy guideline maybe, to ensure that fair and equity are given each employee.
Yeah, maybe the last one. Will you want to consider what's happening, say, in the US, where they have Equal Opportunity Commission? You know, for example, in the UN system, if I'm working there and you see any of my relation getting employment there, UN will get that person out. Not because it's not qualified, because I'm there. They have to share the opportunity. In the US, if you can prove that this person got this job because his uncle, his church member, his mosque member is the one that influenced him to come in, that person will be taken out. And they have a special commission like we have the Human Rights Commission, where you go and lodge a complaint that Muntaka is in Parliament and is on the Health Committee, and I can see that this secretary that is in the Health Committee came through him because that person is relation, and the person will be withdrawn. Will you want to do this so that at least all of us can have a peace of mind knowing that people will apply, they will get it on merit, there will be no any interference, and therefore people will not be bothering all of us as politicians to intervene and get them sometimes jobs that they do not qualify for?
Very well, Chairman. Like I said, it's a very major policy decision. So once I'm given the nod, I'll discuss with my ministers, fallout from the vetting, and we see how we can all pull our minds together for this. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Ranking Member.
Chairman, thank you very much. I've had the rare privilege to work at the Ministry of Employment as Minister. Therefore, I can appreciate the nominees' challenges. But, Chairman, there was what was launched by government as COVID alleviation program. So, government came to Parliament and announced those measures, which measures included unemployment insurance. Has any Ghanaian benefited from unemployment insurance? I want to find out from the nominee. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Not yet. I indicated that it's work in progress.
Thank you very much, Chairman. The business tracker survey, which was conducted by the Ghana Statistical Service in collaboration with the UNDP and the World Bank, in an answer again, you gave your numbers. I have difficulties with your numbers. How many firms were interviewed? You mentioned 400.
No, Mr. Chairman. I mentioned, in the first place, I said that we commissioned a consultant.
Yes, so how many firms were interviewed?
878 enterprises were
So if I read from authoritative official sources and it says that 4,311 firms were interviewed, would you accept that or I should stand by your own?
Mr. Chairman, I indicated that the ministry commissioned a consultant to do a work. If you are referring to that report, Mr. Chairman, that indicated 878 firms.
All right, but out of it was what you quoted, 720,000 workers who had their wages reduced. Is that the case?
No, Chairman.
42,000 workers suffered layoffs from the tracker interviews. Is that the case, Chair?
Chairman, the 42,000 that suffered the tracker layoffs was the World Bank report.
Your report, as you commission a consultant, was distinct and separate from that of the UNDP World Bank. Is that right?
That is right, Chairman. And in that report, 11,657 job losses were indicated.
Apart from stimulus package that was disbursed by the National Board for Small Scale Industry at the time, now converted by legislation, did your ministry reach out to any unemployed Ghanaian to support that person? Either you or the Ministry of Finance in collaboration, honorable nominee.
Mr. Chairman, as a ministry, through our Labor Department, we not only supported financially, I mean, we didn't support financially, but we did lots of visits to them to know their first-hand issues and give the necessary advice.
Chairman, thank you. Now, you've worked at the ministry, so we'll hold you to account for some of your conduct at the ministry. Factories and inspectorate directorates. I mean, look at the major factories across the country. Their legislation does not allow them to charge reasonably amount that can cover their costs. Yet you know the health, safety of workers is important, and we need as a country to pass a legislation on those matters. You need to go around the country, for instance, to know whether the meat factory or the granule processing factory meets minimum health safety standards. Give us an assurance what you do to assist your minister to improve the work of the factories inspectorate directorate.
My minister is in the process of even initiating a bill around the occupational safety and health to strengthen the Department of Factories Inspectorate. So I give you the fullest assurance that once you approve my nomination, I'll work with my minister in pursuit of your suggestion. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, one of our major problems as a country is access to labor information. That is why probably, if you recall, in 2016, I got the EU, which came to support the establishment of the labor market information system. In an answer to a question to the Honorable Ejari, I believe, you mentioned the matter of labor departments, the links. Now, the unemployed in Ghana just don't know where to go in search of jobs and to have assurances of jobs. Days of past 2018, 18 years back or 20 years, every morning, Ghanaians comfortably walk to the labor departments to read their notice board in order to find out what vacancy existed. Now we need to go high tech. One, in digitalizing these labor departments, two, connecting them to a dedicated labor market information system. What will you do to assist your minister to give realization to this dream? Thank you.
Chairman, thank you. The Ghana Labor Market Information System is one of the things that you left behind at the ministry, which we have pursued till date. Mr. Chairman, you know that it is capital intensive. And even at that time, the EU was the one supporting us. As part of the Skills and Jobs project, which budget was approved in the last budget, some portions are earmarked for us to progress on the JLMI. So once given the nod, Mr. Chairman, I think it's one area where we will seek to work so hard to ensure that at least this manual form of data and so on are taken away and giving way to technology. Thank you, Chairman.
Chairman, thank you very much. And Chairman, my other question has to do with what the Honorable Agalga raised, and in your response, you've been Deputy Minister and you are going back to the same ministry. We've heard the President, we've heard your minister, we've heard you too. Act 766 was passed as Pensions Act. If you read its transitional provisions, all other laws were considered repealed to come under the ambit of a new Pensions Act of Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 pension. Now, we failed as a country to do pension unification, and probably your ministry must be giving good policy advice to President Nana Addo Dankwa on it. Because when you take immigration, they are at a different level. You take the Ghana Armed Forces at a different level of pensions. You take the police service at a different level of pensions. That is why the idea of unification was mooted, and I still recall even submitting a cabinet memo to President Mahama at the time on it. Now, President Nana Addo Dankwa has announced, supported by the ministers, that look, all security agencies should be under Cap 30. You know that the police service regulations is a Cap 30, no. So we expect you and your minister to come to Parliament, and you must give us timelines. Amendment, as the Honorable Agalga referred to, at Section 31 of Act 766 will have to be reviewed. Give us an assurance of timelines, how you and your minister will give meaning to this. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the difficulty I have is my status. If you approve of me as a deputy minister to give timelines, I have given my fullest assurance that I will support my minister in the pursuit of this. So, Mr. Chairman, please bear with me. And once I'm giving the nod, I'll work with my minister so that I don't veer into timelines which I don't control. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Chairman, once we are scrutinizing an employment minister, we know that you remain the policy advisor to the president on it and some of your colleagues. And Chairman, this is my view. For instance, we know you are not directly involved. Immigration Service does recruitment. Ghana Police Service does recruitment. The Ghana Armed Forces does recruitment. Many of them these days don't do it through the known advertised public advertisement. Known, the channels. It will be in Times, it will be in the Ghanaian newspapers of Daily Graphic. Now, but my suggestion is that Ghana is divided into 275 constituencies. Now, to ensure fairness and to ensure fair representation of all the diverse groups in Ghana, why not place the adverts in their constituencies? Then we know that if immigration, police, and the military were to recruit at least 2-3 persons from each of the 275 constituencies would have gotten absorbed into the particular service. What's your thinking on that? Thank you, Chair.
Mr. Chairman, fantastic thinking. So once I'm giving the nod, I'll discuss it with my minister and we push it forward. Thank you, Chairman.
And then Chairman again, Labor Department, in a very sorry state, as you know, whether nationally or regionally, and there must be plans to refit the Labor Department. But Chairman, again, a major problem, I know you are not minister, but we say so that those who are evolving policy will be guided. The Labor Department is responsible for the licenses of those who get these domestic workers abroad. Now they go abroad, and we are told that they were recruited by an illegal employment agency. And we will have some of you admitting before committees. How do we get a stop to it? Because, for instance, the Arab Gulf, whether it's Bahrain, it's Kuwait, it's Jordan, it's Oman, it's Dubai, are interested in recruiting persons to work for them. But they want it regularized in a manner that is decent, that the young girls that are sent there are not abused. What will you do? I'm currently even aware that there's a ban. When will you lift the ban? And I assist your minister to do so. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think this area which you have asked is a very much an area where most people are also interested. The ministry put in place measures through the Labour Department to stop some of these illegal transfers of labour to particularly the Gulf states. They worked in consultation with the Ministry of Interior and getting Ghana Immigration Service to support and even block some of the export of some of this labour to the Gulf. Unfortunately, you find people going through Togo and even through Cote d'Ivoire on unapproved routes to carry out this trade. So I'm not surprised you will even find people in some of these states, you ask them they are Ghanaians, but they didn't go through the normal routes of our airport. So, Mr. Chairman, I mean, once I am approved, this is an area where we have been working on already, and we will take it up seriously and ensure that all of us have these ideas on board to be able to push that. Thank you, Chair.
Chairman, thank you very much. I note that there is some stability in the labor front. Many of the insidious conflicts were dealt with, largely which were associated with the management of second-tier pension funds and what went into the reserve fund, which was set up at the Bank of Ghana. But, Chairman, I'm holding with me here the report of the Auditor General on the public accounts of Ghana, public boards, corporations, and other statutory institutions for the period ending 31st December 2019. And it has this quote: our review of Social Security Fund, SSF, contributions in respect of employee deduction of 5%, together with employers' contribution of 13.5%, amounting to 491,527,717 from 2016 period, have not been remitted to the trust by the Control and Accountant General Department at the time of audit in 2019, 3 years on. And I'm raising this, Chairman, I know he's not minister, because there is currently an ongoing debate. CLOSAC have written very strongly to the office of the President, copied you, copied Parliament, that they think that the supervisory ministry for pensions should be the Ministry of Employment. I had that benefit from President Mahama asking me to supervise pensions. Now, things have changed. Will you follow up on this to ensure that pension funds are safe and secured?
Thank you, Chair. Very much so.
Chairman, payment of outstanding salaries of workers of the defunct National Mobilization Program. You have any knowledge of it, and what would you do to ensure that they get what they deserve? Thank you, Chair.
Mr. Chair, when I'm approved and it comes to my notice, I will delve into it and ensure that the right thing is done.
Is government owing Tier 2 pensions, and how much, to the best of your knowledge? Are there any outstanding obligations that have not been settled?
Mr. Chairman, to the best of my knowledge, all the monies held in the TPFA have been transferred. However, as and when some institutions come perusing through their data and give us information that they are reliably informed per their data that they've not received, we have worked with controller. In the last case was the Senior Staff Association. We worked with controller, and about 41 million has been transferred as part of their pension funds, of their Tier 2 funds. Thank you.
Chairman, you say under oath that there is no outstanding obligations in respect of arrears standing against Tier 2 pension. Is that right?
Mr. Chairman, I did not say that.
And Chairman, in an answer to the Honorable Ejari, minimum wage has it been determined for this period?
Chairman, yes, it has.
What is it for the private sector?
It's for 2021, it's 12 cedis 53 pesos, an increase of 6 percentage points over the 2020 minimum wage.
Public sector base pay, has it been determined?
Chairman, in the process.
Why is it taking long after determination of minimum wage for that to be done, particularly so that the compensation budget of government as presented in the budget was not anticipated?
Chairman, we finished the determination of the minimum wage just a couple or so days ago.
And Chairman, I end with this. Just again, to be fair to you, you don't have a copy. Report of Auditor General on Public Accounts of Ghana, Public Boards, Corporations, and other statutory institutions for the period ended 31st December 2019. Hear this quote and follow up. Senate entered a joint venture agreement with Regimanuel Gray for a development of housing project at Klagon, 2010, Tema and Asakori for sale. The arrangement provided a percentage holding of 60% to SNIT and 40% to Regimanuel Gray. The expected cost for construction and completion of the project was $206 million, $465,000. Now, the Auditor General is raising concerns about those investments, that they are locked up. You want to assure us that when you go, you and your ministry will pay particular interest to matters of SNIT and their pension. Do you still serve? Do you have a representative on the SNIT board? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chairman. We don't have a representative on the SNIT board. And to your earlier suggestion, yes, once approved, I will support my minister to follow up on the SNIT issue. Thank you, Chair.
Very well. The leader, ranking member is finished. These are suggestions from a young man from our constituency. So I'm going to ask you do you have any system of identifying and recording the unemployed in our country, at your ministry?
Mr. Chairman, yes, that is what the Honorable Ranking was asking. The JLMIS. It's in the process. It's very capital intensive. We've received support from European Union, and we currently are receiving support through the just approved skills and job project. So once that is done, the JLMIS will be fully set up, and then we can have the data on the unemployed as well.
So now you do not have a system of collecting that data, is that right?
Chairman, that is correct.
I don't know exactly what is the content of the JLMXI, but I'm suggesting that please brief us, the everyday Ghanaian, district by district, for us to understand what it is and how we can help you collect the data. Right.
Chairman, to begin with, our labor law even enjoins the Labor Department to collect data on some of these statistics within every district. But when the JLMIS is set up, it's a system that connects job seekers to jobs. And in the process, all those who are seeking for jobs, their data comes in there. And then you are able to know how many people have jobs, how many do not have, and so on. But this is a system. So once it's set up and it's decentralized from national through the regions to the districts, this data will be ascertained and we'll be able to report on them accurately.
Well, it appears what I'm expecting is from what you're trying to set up. Because what you're trying to set up would require people applying. So if I don't apply, you know, you don't have my data. I was hoping that you have a system where generally, now that we're trying to build a national ID, who can log in and say, this set of people, one, they have no skills. This one have these skills. So it's possible to guide them where to find jobs. So I'm looking at a situation where in my district, it should be possible to look at the data and say, oh, I have 1,500 trained masons. I have 700 trained carpenters. So when there's a job coming into the constituency, I can insist that you have a pool of people here you can employ. I won't permit you to bring carpenters from this or that side. So probably you want to look at an option which is district-based.
Very well, Chairman.
The second thing is probably linked to the same thing. Do you have a system where you link your data to academia so as to assist in the kind of training they give? For example, all the polytechnics, now called technical universities, were set up to train up with their hands, to train people to work with their hands. But it does appear to be now that they are all doing marketing. They are graduating more marketing, what do you call them, HR, procurement graduates, more than the hands-on, yes, science and technology systems. Is that in any way, or do you have a system in influencing the kind of training through your data with academia?
Chairman, currently no such system exists with us, but there's a discussion ongoing, especially given the current nature of jobs across the globe and the way the world of work is changing, and how we also ought to look at, the workforce that are needed for particular skill sets and so on. This is a discussion that is ongoing. So my minister has plans to even have a national forum where he wishes to, one of these days, bring to our attention for all of us to be together and start thinking along the lines that you are proposing. So once I'm approved, I would discuss this with him. That is something we need to take it up and support him to roll it out. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Reku Brobe, we thank you for attending upon the committee to answer questions. You're discharged. You'll hear from us later.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Thank you, honorable members. Thank you very much.
Metro TV. Insightful and inspiring moments.
Ghana is a beautiful country. There is so much of it you probably haven't seen, haven't experienced, haven't touched, haven't felt, haven't eaten. When this is all over, let's discover our land again with new eyes. Let's feel each other again. We are one people, brought together by destiny. Let's make that count. Let's show love for each other and our environment. Let's tell our stories, and let's watch and listen to our stories. There will be so much to tell. Ghana is a truly beautiful country. Be Ghana, stay in Ghana, experience Ghana, make Ghana great. And we will invite the world to come and experience Ghana too. But for now, stay home. Brought to you by the National Film Authority. Supports the Stay Home and Discover Ghana Later campaign. This channel supports the campaign.
God bless our homeland, Ghana.
We had to go and then assess the situation on the ground and then brief our Chief of Staff.
So largely, you were researching for the Office of Chief of Staff.
Precisely, Mr. Chairman.
What did you find about the impact of road construction in the Bekwai municipality, if any?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thought you were going to ask about Achumakwangoma. But
you're my next door at Achumakwangoma.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And we shared a particular road. So we can talk about Achumakwangoma as a link to Bekwai. But what did you find? What was the impact of the construction of that link between Semfi through your constituency to a link to Kumasi Road, right? Yes. What did you find about the impact of that one?
Mr. Chairman, obviously the traffic on that stretch of road, especially from the Ahinima Kokoben side all the way through Trede and then to Semfi and through to Bekwai, that is a heavy traffic prone area. And it is something we really discussed with the Chief of Staff, because definitely with the traffic, economic activities will be slowed and all that. So we had a lengthy discussion with the Chief of Staff, and she gave the assurance that she's going to look into it.
Now, Ahinima Kokoben is in your constituency.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Right. You know that the main reason for the heavy traffic holdup at Ahinima Kokoben, largely two. The station that has been created at the exit and entrance of the Ahinima Kokoben town and to the school. And then the speed humps where the dual carriages end. But I'm advised, I stand to be corrected, that the community insists that they will not agree for those speed humps to be removed. How do you think we can solve that problem to ensure free flow of access on the Kumasi, Obuasi, and Nyankwanta Road?
Mr. Chairman, that may not be wholly true. In fact, behind me is the Queen Mother of Ahinima Kokoben. And the people are really crying for their roads to be done. If you look at, really the holdup will not be due to that. If you look at the way Ahinima Kokoben is, if we are to construct, the roads that are in the town, that can go a long way to ease traffic on the main road. I think you will agree with me that the construction of the road through Trede, all the way to Daban, yes, Ahojo Daban, that is in a way trying to reduce the heavy traffic on the Bekwai Road. But it is not entirely true that the people of Ahinima Kokoben do not want that side of the road to be done, or the ramps to be?
No, yeah, there are ramps. That's my only problem.
I think, Mr. Chairman, the ramps really came up because you know how sometimes when you have a bit of a good road, the way people speed, and people, children, adults were being knocked down by vehicles, and that was the reason why there was the ramp. But I don't think they are against the ramp being taken off to allow for free flow of traffic.
Yes, leader. We will discuss this outside here.
Chairman, thank you very much. I note that the nominee, Kofi Amankwa Menu, and Chairman, whilst I join you in congratulating him, let me refer him to page 7 of the CV. Page 7 of the CV. Federal Bureau of Investigation. Where was this training done? Was it in Washington, New York, Libya? Where in the world did you undertake this training? In August 2017 for our records.
Mr. Chairman, the training was done right here in Accra.
So state so that we know that I can match your slang in English to Accra training by the FBI. That the training was, after all, in the Dansuma area here somewhere in Accra.
Mr. Chairman, I guess I am taking after you.
And Chairman, I note again that you said you were seconded to National Security as Director Compliance. Compliance to what?
Mr. Chairman.
What was your responsibility?
Mr. Chairman, the job in national security is such that in most instances you are assigned a particular duty. One big assignment which was assigned to me by my minister had to do with the cleaning of the petroleum sector. And when I say petroleum sector, I'm referring to those who are doing importation and exportation. We realized that a lot of people were, as it were, not paying taxes due to the state. And so one will come under the pretext of exporting petroleum products outside the country. And then the products will end up in Ghana. So they were actually not paying the taxes. And so my minister assigned me to that job, and it was a huge task. So mainly, that was what was assigned to me by my
Chairman,
minister.
that's noted. Page 5 of your CV. Were you member of Parliament as at 4th January 2021? I see January 2021 today. 4th January, were you member of Parliament?
No, Mr. Chairman, 7th January 2021.
So say so for the record and for Chairman and for our purposes. Now, Chairman have answered that for you, but per our record as you submitted, I didn't know that you have been called to the bar, because in page 3 of your CV, what you said was yet to be called to the bar. We should expunge that from the record. Is that right?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And you've been studying law since 2015. Is that the case?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Why did you abandon your graduate course in social science at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology? You want to explain what accounted for that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. If Mr. Chairman will recall, in 1995, the universities were closed down for a very long time. And during the break, I had an opportunity to travel outside the country. I deferred my course for 1 year, but I ended up staying more than the deferred periods. So I missed my opportunity when I came back. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you very much. So, Minister of Defense, we just discussed it. We know that you would not be the minister. You will be assisting the Honorable Dominic Nitiwo. And recruitment into the Ghana Armed Forces, we are concerned about transparency in the recruitment